Hey VC, how's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing good. It's been a while since my last video, and I actually got like a really good amount of stuff to show, so I'll get into that. Basically, yeah, I've been doing a lot of online shopping, and then Texas relaxed a lot of the lockdown stuff, and it looks like we're kind of sliding back into some of the worst conditions again. But it is what it is. You know, everyone that I know for the most part has been safe and healthy, and you know, just doing our best to stay sane. One of the best ways to do that is with some vinyl therapy. So I guess what I should mention first off the top is yeah, I joined Vinyl Me Please, so I got these two releases so far. This is the first one I got, the Stooges, the John Cale mix, self-titled. Sounds really good. It's on a cool color. Came with a cool print. It's hanging on my wall right now, not in here. But yeah, this is what made me sign up. In addition to the fact that it was something like it was like 20 or 30% off for a 3-month subscription. So yeah, I took them up on that, and it looks like they have me hooked for another 3 months at least, because 2 out of the 3 record of the month releases that they just announced the other day are really exciting to me. I swapped. Next month is going to, well, this month was supposed to be the White Stripes Distigi. I don't know how to say that. It was supposed to be that one. As a lot of you are already aware, especially if you're in Vinyl Me Please, they had some pressing issues, and so, you know, Third Man Records was still trying to get out a quality product. So that'll be shipping with the next month's record of the month, which was going to be John Mayer. I think it's called Continuum. Not really my thing, so I swapped that one for one of their older releases, which is Jim Sullivan's UFO album, which is really cool. And the next two after that, I believe, are Buena Vista Social Club, and then Spiritualized Ladies and Gentlemen We're Floating in Space. So those would be really cool variants to have. Yeah, so Vinyl Me Please is, I'm pretty happy with that so far. And some other new stuff here from, these are both Riding Easy records. I'm sure this has already been shown a lot in the VC, but Randy Holden, Population 2, Riding Easy got Randy Holden to agree to repress this, and a lot of the credit goes to Dylan, our own Dylan from Noble Records in the VC. You know, talking to Randy and hooking him up with a good record label, one that he can trust, and he literally signed off on all these releases, so they're really cool. So what had happened was I ordered, as soon as I saw them mention it from Riding Easy Records, I ordered online. This is the purple vinyl variant, and I also saw that Dylan was getting his own variant. I think it's like 150 copies on yellow vinyl, so that's cool. I had to get that, obviously, so I'm getting that one, and then this one will be good trade material for anyone that wants it. But I kept my order from them, one, to support the label, and two, because they were also selling, I think they're still on sale right now, but they have a lot of $10 single LPs, and pretty much most things on Riding Easy are, you know, if you like one band, you're bound to like so many other things on the label. But there's a really good band on there, Holy Serpent. This album's called Temples. It's on this cool green vinyl, kind of green marble vinyl, and yeah, $10. Couldn't really pass that up. It's a really good deal. All right, I guess also another new release that just came out, I believe 2 weeks ago now. This is Phoebe Bridgers' new album, the second one. Her sophomore album is called Punisher. It's really nice gatefold, good artwork. I got this from the label Dead Oceans, and so this is the label exclusive color. It's this they call it like blue with kind of swirly silver. It literally says that on the hype sticker, blue with kind of swirly silver. So that's cool. That one's a little more limited color. You know, this is one of those records where there's like 5 different colorways you can get this on, so it's pretty nice. But then it also has one of the nicest lyric booklets I've seen with a vinyl record, because it, you know, it's very large. It's not 12 inches, but it is. It's probably about 10 inches. The artwork is printed really nicely. The lyrics are, you know, really good. So there's that. And then as a pre-order bonus, there's this 12-inch art print featuring stuff inspired by the album, and then some liner notes, stuff like that. So all in all, really good package. Still out there. I'd recommend this one a lot. The music is fantastic. I think I might like it better than her first album even. It's that good. And I'm just pretty much a super fan for anything that she's going to release. I still need to pick up Better Oblivion Community Center, her collaboration with Conor Oberst. And then again, I'm sure most of you saw Conor Oberst and Bright Eye has also just announced a new album, so I'll be picking that one up probably, but those are really cool. Okay, this is all getting into some of the used stuff. Some of it's older, some of it's newer. Most of it, I'd say it's like half and half I bought online or in person. And yeah, here we go. So this is the Promise Ring, and Texas is the Reason, split 7-inch. I think this one's just on black vinyl. It's on JG Records. Yeah, black vinyl. Classic emo, 7-inch split release. Kind of a staple of the genre are these split 7 inches. But the Promise Ring, I'm a pretty big fan of. I become a bigger and bigger fan every day, it seems like. And then Texas is the Reason. I don't really have any other records by them, but it's a good place to start. What else we got here? Elmore James, It Hurts Me Too, on Enjoy Records. Not the nicest copy, but nice enough, and it's good to have. The B-side is Pickin' the Blues. And then these three were from the same seller online. There's a I don't know if they're a physical store, if they have a physical store, but they definitely have a strong presence online. I'm sure you've probably seen them on Instagram and stuff like that. They're called Carolina Soul Records, and every week pretty much they have new eBay listings of large collections that they get. So it'll be like a bunch of the same stuff, but a couple, probably like almost 2 months ago now, they released a bunch of 45s, which were really cool. So I got this nice white label promo on White Whale, this band called Rainy Days. The songs are Make Me Laugh and My Door Is Always Open. Really good psychedelic. Definitely check that out. I had never heard it before. It was kind of a blind purchase, but they posted audio samples on there, and they were really cool, so I picked that up. I also got another upgrade copy of Light My Fire by The Doors. This one I believe was the first print on that Electra label. The B-side, of course, is The Crystal Ship. I think I probably showed that 45 like 3 times on the VC, but I just keep upgrading my copies. And then they had this cool Australian David Bowie EP. It's got Rebel Rebel, Queen Bitch, Sorrow, and Amsterdam on a nice picture sleeve. I never see Bowie picture sleeves anywhere, so that was a nice pickup. And another picture sleeve here is the Rolling Stones, The Last Time. But I got it honestly for the B-side, Play With Fire. Probably one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. Definitely one of my favorite early Rolling Stones songs. All right, that's it for 45s. This one I bought online as well from Permanent Records in LA. They have been posting a lot of stuff for sale on their Instagram as well. Picked up this Jeff the Brotherhood, Heavy Days. It's on black vinyl, and it's apparently the different pressings have different pictures on the back of the record. So it's this version. I think it's like a second press or something like that. Not that it really matters. It was in shrink wrap when I got it. It was opened, so I just went ahead and took the shrink wrap off. It didn't have any hype stickers on it or anything, so that one's really cool. Jeff the Brotherhood, if you've never heard them, sort of obviously guitar driven, sort of punk, garage / psychedelic influence, and yet firmly in that 2000s 2010s indie rock scene. Really cool. These next two I got from the same record store. I bought these online. I don't remember the name of the store, but they were on their Discogs page. The first one, The Damned, Music for Pleasure. This is original UK pressing on Stiff. This is the first Stiff Records press that I have from any band. So let me get this out of here. There we go. Stiff. Really cool. Obviously, I really want to get their first album, Damn Damn Damned. The second one is almost as good. The Damned are, sort of no frills, UK punk. And then I had to get a copy of Discrete Music by Brian Eno, kind of a gaping hole in my Brian Eno collection. Discrete Music, it came out in '75, same year as Another Green World, and this one is definitely leaning more heavily in the electronic side of things. But yeah, it's really cool synth diagram on the back. This one isn't a first pressing. It's obviously a later reissue on that Editions EG label that they reissued all their stuff on. And yeah, like I said, I just needed that one. Okay, a little bit of a story with this one. So this is, I never pronounced this right. Inoyama Land. The band is Inoyama Land. And the album's Danzadan Bojidon. It's Japanese ambient. Several years ago, I found an original Japanese press of this at my local half price books. It didn't have the obi, but it had the insert, and it was really cool. And then I saw how much they were going for online. I paid like $4 for my copy, and I saw the prices, and I had to sell it and then buy some other records. And then as years went on, I regarded that more and more, and the price hasn't really come down or anything. Thankfully, obviously it's gotten reissued. This is not a Japanese reissue. I think it's this company I had never heard of, and I think they're from Switzerland. It says it's an official reissue on the hype sticker, though. Yeah, the label is We Press Whatever the F We Want Records, and it came out this year. It sounds great. Honestly, the copy I had found at Half Price Books, this is me kind of consoling myself right now. The copy I had found at Half Price Books had a little more surface noise and wasn't perfect. I'm just coming up with excuses. Basically, this is a nice pressing. It sounds good. I can't really remember too well about what the original sounded like to compare it with, but this sounds good. And obviously, it's like near mint, no surface noise, anything like that. It came, kind of a nice package. It has I always applaud labels whenever they spring for the poly-lined inner sleeves and that sort of thing, instead of just like the cheapest possible paper sleeve. And it also came with a reproduction of the insert as well, which is very nice. There's a peacock. Very nice artwork. And the write-up. This was produced by Hiromi Hosono, which Light in the Attic Records just released a lot of his solo work, and he was in Yellow Magic Orchestra as well. Sort of his one of his things that he produced and brought to prominence. There was something else cool about this one. A lot of the synth work on here is they used an analog delay system or analog reverb. I can't remember which one. I think it was delay, but it was so analog that they actually were using water, like to produce the effects. Like they had the speakers submerged in water in a certain way, and it's really cool. Definitely look into that and give this one a listen as well. I've talked about that before for sure. Another online purchase. This is from the same guy online, just a seller on Discogs. They had this for sale, as well as the Texas is the Reason and the Promise Ring 7-inch that I showed just a minute ago. Wanted this one for a long time. It's the Smiths, This Charming Man. This is a 12-inch single. This is a UK pressing on Rough Trade. And as you can see, it's the label that they had to cover up subsequently with stickers and stuff like that with their actual label design, because they're kind of imitating the Capitol Records label, and they had to cease and desist and put their own label on there. It was kind of funny, but anyway, obviously This Charming Man is one of their more well-known songs. The B-sides are wonderful as well, Accept Yourself and Wonderful Woman. They just sound great on 12-inch single, 44 RPM. That's probably the definitive format to listen to them. And a lot of 80s stuff as well, maxi singles. And then another seller online was selling this bad boy. Not an original copy, I know, but it's an early repress on Tomato of Townes Van Zandt, self-titled. And those are probably my favorite Townes. If I was going to spend big bucks on an original, it'd probably be for one of these on Poppy. But this is a really nice copy. Like, there you go on the tomato label, and it has a inner sleeve with all the other Townes Van Zandt releases up to that point, everything through Flying Shoes, and a really good write-up on the back of the sleeve about Townes. Yeah, you all know Townes Van Zandt. This is just a fantastic record, and I showed this on my Instagram as well. If you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is my friend Johnny Marr. Just find me on there. And then the rest of these are actually from my local record store, Spin Connection, here in Waco, Texas. I don't know if they're still doing it, but for the past 2 weeks, they've been doing 20% off on their used vinyl. And yeah, they actually had some really good stuff that I needed and stuff that I didn't know I needed and everything like that. So yeah, I got, let's see, 2, 4, I got 8 records here. So I'll start with probably one of the more obvious ones, the Beatles' Help. This is a UK pressing. I don't know really how to tell if it's the very first pressing or not. It's an early press for sure, on the black Parlophone label. I'm sure you Beatles detectives can figure that one out if you saw the liner, or sorry, the matrix numbers and everything like that. But you know, obviously, in my opinion, the Help, the UK Help track listing is way better than the US soundtrack. And then some other songs got split onto, I don't even remember, various other US LPs. I've never really been a fan of the US track listings. You know, when I got into the Beatles, they had already reissued the UK CDs, so that's how I got into them. And then let me see, I've Just Seen a Face on side 2. It's a Paul McCartney song, probably one of my favorite Beatles songs, easily top 10. It's just magical. That's a great song. Got some Husker Du here, Candy Apple Gray. This is original US. What year is this one? Like 87, 86. Yeah, original on Warner Brothers. This is their first release on Warner after they had signed to them after leaving SST Records. So yeah, this one is after New Day Rising and before Warehouse Songs and Stories, or whatever that one's called. This is only like my second or third Husker Du album that I actually own on vinyl. I'd obviously love to get a full discography. This one's really good. You can't really go wrong. They didn't record a single bad thing. Definitely needed that one in the collection. This is one of those I didn't know I wanted, but once I saw it, I was intrigued and picked it up, and I'm glad I did. Lime Spiders, The Cave Comes Alive. A really awesome Australian band, kind of an intersection of everything I like, with punk and garage and a little bit of just a hint of psych in there. It's really good. Really no other way to describe it other than just a perfect mixture of all those things, and kind of a little more under the radar. I never really heard too much about them. I think I'd seen them in the VC before, but never had actually listened to them. Really cool. And this is the original US pressing. What's this one on? Virgin Records? Yeah. Really cool. Another, I have the one that comes right after this, but this is a really good Wire album, A Bell is a Cup, Until It Is Struck. Not the Wire that, it's not in their Holy Trinity, you know, their first 3 releases, but it is still really good. It's like borderline industrial. It's on Enigma, which I believe is a subsidiary of Mute Records. So you know, they obviously in their punk days or post-punk days were you know, leaning more and more heavily as time went on into the kind of experimental side of things. And from what I understand, you know, once they went on like a brief hiatus after their 3rd one, and basically when they came back with like new material that was totally different, stuff like this. I think they had one before this as well, but they were basically like, we're not playing any of our old material again, you know, nothing from Pink Flag, nothing from you know, 154 or anything like that. In fact, because we know you're going to be disappointed, we're going to have a cover band come on and play all of our old songs before we play, and then we'll play our new material. that's kind of how divisive it was. So, you know, they come out with this, and I can hear a lot of it's like a proto like Nine Inch Nails or something like that, almost. You know, definitely really interesting. Wire is another one of those bands I'd love to get a complete discography of. They also had this and the soundtracks buried in there with various artists. This is the Repo Man soundtrack. Just a great, you know, punk soundtrack. You know, obviously Iggy Pop, Black Flag, Circle Jerks. Fear's on here. I have that Fear LP already, but still cool. Suicidal Tendencies. Really great soundtrack. Really cool. Another Smith's 12-inch here. This one has a little more damage, but the price was right. You know, it's How Soon Is Now. B-sides are Girl Afraid, another one of my favorite Smiths B-sides, and a single edit of How Soon Is Now. This song also is an original, the US, it's on Sire, and this cover is weird because the top is one of those where the top is here, but then the spine is here, so it like actually fits like that in the sleeve, but you know. Really cool one. I see these sometimes. My dad has 2 or 3 of these Strange Fruit Peel Sessions releases. This one's Sushi and the Banshees. Really cool. This is the first session. I believe it's from November of 1977. So really early in their career. They play these songs here. They're really cool. But my dad has a couple of these Strange Fruit releases. I don't think they were bootlegs, but Strange Fruit was definitely a little more of a shadier label. Not shady is not what I'm trying to say, but they released stuff like that. It says they released an arrangement with BBC Records and Tapes, and it has a BBC copyright thing on here, so I'm assuming it's licensed. But yeah, basically they released so many of these that pretty much any band you would like from that time period is on here. You know, especially a lot of punk and new wave stuff like that. Even on here, like there's so many artists listed there on the front. There's like Sisters of Mercy, Wire, Section 25, Echo and the Bunnymen, Young Marble Giants, the Smiths. And my dad has it's either the first 2 Joy Division or the first 2 New Order Peel Sessions, and then basically he has 3. It's either 2 of New Order or 2 of Joy Division, and then 1 of the other. But yeah, these are really cool. I'd love to have more of those. And actually, that's my first Sushi and the Banshees release on vinyl that I have. Really neat. And this is the last thing. This is sort of a Holy Grail / Holy Moly type thing. They had it on the wall in the store. Priced fairly, you know. Cover condition is a little more iffy than the record. The record is super nice. But again, 20% off. I couldn't say no to that, really. Silver Apples, first album, self-titled. So Silver Apples were a 2-piece band that was basically forced out of the music industry by a really stupid legal issue or technicality on their second album, which I would actually really love to find. And they're often considered the first electronic band in the modern sense. They're not the first to use synths or anything like that, but the way they used them was super influential for stuff like you know, Suicide and later punk bands and new wave and post-punk stuff like that. And they're doing this in this is a crap. It's either 67 or 68 this album came out. I think it was 68. But yeah, this is super good. It's psychedelic, obviously that late 60s sort of thing, but the electronic elements are there, and they're so cool. And yeah, this album just oozes coolness. You know, it's just has so much cool factor. Original on Cap Records. These are not the most rare things in the world to find, but they're kind of scarce. I never really see them, and I definitely never really see them for cheap. So I'm happy with the price I got this one at. I'll just say that. And yeah, this one off the one list. I just need the second one now, and then I'm pretty much set. Yeah, so that's everything I've got. That's not true. I also got a CD, but it's the Avalanches, Since I Left You. I got it on Discogs. I just wanted it for the car, you know. Yes, that's all I've got. Thanks you guys for watching all the way to this point. I really appreciate all my subscribers and everyone that follows me on Instagram and things like that. I'll see you guys in the next one and in your videos. Take care.